Hello there and welcome to Black Jackal Gaming. We're going to take a look at the Iron Hands Detachment, which is the Ironstorm Spearhead and the new Space Marine Codex. How strong the vehicle meta is in the Codex, the Dreadnought spam that you're going to see on the tabletop running this Spearhead, the Tech Marines are back and very much useful, and then they've got some good stratagems and enhancements to use. So the army rule for the Ironstorm Spearhead is that every unit in your army for each phase gets to reroll either a hit, a wound, or a damage roll, which is really good when you've got a lot of low rate of fire, high strength, high damaging weapons. Gives you that extra ability just to make sure you're punching some more of these through. The enhancements look pretty tasty overall. There's a couple of good ones, a couple that are just okay. So you got the Target Augury Web. What this does is that for a Tech Marine model, any Astartes vehicle that's within 6 inches of it, so it is an aura and can be passed out to many units. Any vehicles within that aura, their weapons have the lethal hits ability. Bear in mind that any units that have the firing deck keyword will be able to use the weapons from within as they count as being equipped by the vehicle, adding in a couple of extra lethal hits to things if you're bringing anything such as eradicators with you, hidden away in a little tougher option. Then you got the Flesh is Weak. This is only for the model that you give it to, and it gives them a Feel No Pain of 4+. So a little bit of toughness boost for you. You got the Adept of the Omnissiah. This again is for a Tech Marine model only. Once per battle round, anytime a saving throw is failed, but for a vehicle unit that's within 6 inches of this bearer, you can change the damage characteristic to 0. So again, add a little bit toughness to your vehicles there. Then you got the Master of Machine War. This is only for Adeptus models. While a friendly vehicle is within 6 inches, this is a bearer, so you can give it to many units again. The vehicle is eligible to shoot even if it fell back or advanced in that turn, just giving you a little bit more flexibility on what you can do. It has 6 stratagems, as all the detachments do have, and we'll go through the battle tactics to begin with, because these can be reduced to 0 CP if you have a captain within your battle force. So the first one is Armor of Contempt. This is a stratagem that's shared by all the detachments. What this is, in your opponent's shooting phase or the fight phase, anytime your unit has been targeted for an attack, until the end of this phase, you can reduce the AP by all attacks by 1. Then we've got Mercy of Weakness. This is in your shooting phase or fight phase. Select one unit from your army that has not been selected to shoot or fight so far, and until the end of the phase, each time the model makes an attack that targets a unit that's below half strength, below starting strength that is, sorry, the attack has sustained hit 1. And when you're making this attack against a vehicle, the critical hit roll has changed from a 6 to a 5, so you're getting sustained hits on a 5+. And finally, for the battle tactics, we have Unbowed Conviction. This is in your command phase. You select a unit from your army that's below starting strength, and until the end of the turn, you can ignore all modifiers to the characteristics to this or any tests that they're made. This does not affect modifiers to your saving throws. We're on to the other stratagems now. For Vengeful Animus, which is an epic deed stratagem. Anytime one of your vehicle units is destroyed and has the Deadly Demise ability, instead of rolling to see if that goes off, you automatically explode, inflicting the mortal wounds that are listed on the datasheet to any surrounding models. Then we have Ancient Fury, which is another epic deed. This is for Walker models only, and it's in your command phase. And until the start of your command phase, when you select one Walker model, you will improve the model's toughness, save, move, leadership, objective control by 1. And each time it makes an attack, you add 1 to the hit roll. So you can have something like a Ballistis Dreadnought hitting on 2s, which is quite nice. Then we have Power of the Machine Spirit, another epic deed. In your opponent's shooting phase, after it has selected a unit and resolved its attacks, one vehicle from your unit that's been reduced to below half strength due to these attacks, you can then fire back at that unit as if it is your shooting phase. As you can see from the army rule stratagems and enhancements, there's quite a few abilities there to put some nice combos together. If you're pairing your Redemptor and Ballistus Dreadnought with a Tech Marine, you're going to be giving him the aura to give them lethal hits. You've also got the ability to use a stratagem to give one the +1 to the hit, as well as the Tech Marine can select one to give +1 to hit as well. So you can put yourself in a position where you've got 3 Dreadnoughts clustered together around 1 Tech Marine, and he's making 2 of them hit on 2s, and the rest all have the ability to have lethal hits. And when you combine that with the army rule of having a reroll to hit, wound or damage, you're putting yourself in a position where you've got the relatively low amount of firepower you can get from these 2 units to make them more consistent in punching through into their target and getting that high damage that you're really looking for. I can really see people taking 1 or 2 clusters of these, really trying to just buy into the ability to have high output damage at high damage levels and a little bit more consistency. When you're combining this with the likes of the Storm Speeders, so you can take the Thunder Strike and the Hail Strike, and if these have targeted a unit, you can get either +1 to wound or +1 on AP. You're really upping the chance you have of taking out these quite tough units that you're trying to look into. You can also pair this up to a certain extent with the Gladiator variants, because the Tech Marine can give buffs to these guys as well. They can give them the +1 to hit, they can repair them. They do have the ability to give them the lethal hits as well. So you can really buy into some of these slightly cheaper, more mobile units that you can use, especially if you're pairing it with potentially an Impulsor to carry it around, to get it further forward to begin with, because it can move after, not move, it can get out of the Impulsor once it's moved to still be within range of your damage hitting units. It also brings into play things such as the Land Raider. While it might still be expensive at 240 points, if you can get this guy with his 4 God Las Cannon shots plus his multi-melter shots, if you can get them hitting on 2s with a reroll, and then the damage is so high that they're wounding most things on 2s or 3s, and then when you've got potentially punching that through and having a reroll on the damage as well, this guy's really going to be able to not only target large sections of the board because it's such a big model, he can actually push through this damage. And then if he's carrying a payload of other units that can pop out as well, you're really bringing a little bit of versatility to play, where you can just take the middle of the board, absolutely decimate a tough unit, and then throw out along a lot of tough or combat units just to be able to shore up your defense. You can charge when you get out of a Land Raider once it moves as well, so you can really just throw a load of Gravis units out there, Blade Guards, and just ruin someone's day. Now the Lieutenant with the Combi bolt rifle, he's not the best model for damage output, he's just pretty poor, and 70 points is a little bit on the expensive side. But when you look at what he brings to the game, and you're going to have not many units on the board, to have a model that's 70 points that can tie down a home objective. It's got lone operative, so cannot be targeted outside of 12 inches. It has stealth, so it's -1 to hit. It has a 5-up feel no pain as well, so it's quite difficult to actually get into this guy and get him dead. And he has the ability to select 1 objective on the battlefield, and for the rest of the game, any model that's within range of that objective, if you're targeting that model, you get to reroll wounds of 1. So when you've got the likes of the God Las Cannons potentially, or they got the Ballistus Las Cannons, these are already wounding on 3s, possibly 2s, and then when you've already got a reroll of 1 built in there for free, so you don't have to waste your wound reroll, it's upping the consistency that you can bring to the tabletop. This guy's probably going to be a must take for a lot of lists. And then you're probably going to throw in maybe some infiltrators as well, just to shore out your backline, stop anything deep striking in, make it harder for people to score things like teleport homers and engage and behind enemy lines. Just spend a bit of points to basically stop people from getting in your deployment zone, so you can aggressively step forward with the rest of your stuff and just apply pressure. The Ironstorm Spearhead is looking quite strong, especially if you've got the units to take. If you don't have all these units and they can be quite pricey, then it wouldn't be the most optimized choice to take if you've got more of a combined arms force that isn't leaning into the likes of the dreadnoughts and land raiders and such. Then you're probably going to look elsewhere. But if you do like your tanks and your tech, this might be the detachment for you. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any comments, then pop them below in the comment section. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit the like button as it greatly helps the channel. Hit the subscribe button to see any future Warhammer content. Take it easy and see you next time for more grim darkness from the 41st millennium.